So, before this video begins, I just want to thank you guys so much for 90 subscribers. Oh my god. Like, seriously, I actually didn't know that I would actually get this many subscribers that fast. Man. Well, anyways, I just want to say thank you so much for supporting and just loving my videos and just supporting me and this channel. Anyways, I hope you enjoy the video. So, the new Tom and Jerry movie came out, and I didn't like it. Which, if I'm being honest here, I'm not too surprised why. So, before we talk about this disaster of a film, we have to talk about what Tom and Jerry is about and about their first motion picture. Yup, they actually made a movie almost like 30 years ago. Yup. Anyways, Tom and Jerry is basically a bunch of shorts about Tom, which is a cat, and Jerry, which is a mouse. You see, Tom is basically trying to catch Jerry so that way he can eat him. But Jerry always tries to find a way to outsmart Tom. And yeah, that's basically Tom and Jerry. So you might be asking, how can you make a movie about a cat and a mouse just chasing after each other? Well, basically, they did that twice, but we will get to that. Anyways, let's just talk about the first motion picture for Tom and Jerry. I'm not going to talk about this movie too much because I actually have a video planned for this movie. But to make long story short, the movie failed both with critics and in the box office. So, yeah, let's just say that this movie was basically forgotten about. So, when I first heard that they were going to make a live-action movie based on Tom and Jerry, I was a bit scared. Because, one, this was gonna be live-action. And Tom and Jerry is a cartoon, which they could easily just make Tom and Jerry normal animals and make them look creepy. But at the same time, they can actually stick to the they can stick to the classic designs from the old shorts, but also make them have fur. But then the trailer came out and nope, they stick to the classic style, which, if I'm being honest here, was maybe probably the best decision, but maybe not. I'll get to that in a bit. So, as far as the story, the characters, the acting, the comedy, and the designs of the animated characters, I'm going to try and do all of them in this one video. Anyways, let's talk about why Tom and Jerry was not great. So, the story for Tom and Jerry is that Tom and Jerry moves into New York, apparently, and they find the most finest hotel in New York, which apparently the hotel is going to have a wedding because movie. But the hotel has a big problem because of Jerry. Jerry is causing a lot of trouble in the hotel, which they fear that Jerry might ruin the wedding in the hotel. So basically, they hire Tom to get rid of Jerry. So, you might be saying, well, Cartoon Boy, this sounds like a good story for a Tom and Jerry movie. Well, yes, I would have to agree with you. It does stick to what Tom and Jerry is about. But at the same time, it doesn't do that. You see, the movie doesn't focus on Tom and Jerry that much. Instead, it just focuses on the human characters, which we are going to be talking about next. But before we do, the biggest problem with the story is that, okay, so do you remember in the trailer of how Tom and Jerry were about to say goodbye to each other? And they just apparently went to New York City? Well, basically, that doesn't appear in the movie. The way of how the movie begins is literally Tom and Jerry just making music and fighting each other. No. I'm serious. That's literally how the movie begins. Would you actually think that's how a Tom and Jerry movie would even begin? No, you wouldn't. But yeah, there are little parts in the story that just makes it so boring and forgettable. Also, a lot of things in this movie just happen, and sometimes it just doesn't work, and it just makes the movie worse and worse. So let's start off with the only good characters in this movie, aka Tom and Jerry, which, for them being treated as side characters in this movie, they definitely deliver as the best part of this entire movie. But for the human characters, however, they are very forgettable and not interesting. All of them are. As for the acting for the human characters, they're not great, which is a shame because some of these actors have appeared in some pretty good movies before. So, the way of how the animators designed the characters, I gotta say, they did a very, very, very amazing job representing of how they look how they looked like in the classic cartoon and bringing them into 3D animation. And that's what I like. But that's when that line comes to an end. You see, this is a live action movie. And again, the animated characters are going to interact with whatever they're going to interact with stuff that are not animated. And when they do, it doesn't look that great. And whenever the humans sometimes touches or holds the animated characters, it doesn't look great either, which that's not a good thing about this movie. So, Tom and Jerry is basically known for their infamous slapsticks and jokes, right? Well, sadly, in this movie, okay. They do a lot of slapstick jokes in this movie, which has to be the best part of the entire movie. But for the human characters, the jokes that they tell are not funny, at all. They are not even laugh out loud or even making you want to even smile at all. There was never a single time where I even wanted to smile or laugh. The only time when I laughed was when Tom and Jerry were just fighting. In conclusion, was this movie good? No. But was it better than the 1992 movie? Yes. But at the same time, it still wasn't a great movie. But if you want, if you want to see something that actually feels like Tom and Jerry and actually feel like if it had heart into it, then I would just recommend you to watch these Tom and Jerry special shorts. These shorts came out just for the movie, and they are just amazing. Like, if you are a Tom and Jerry fan, I would highly recommend them. They just feel like the classic Tom and Jerry shorts. Now, if I would give a rating for this movie, it would have to be a 5 out of 10. It's just a mediocre movie. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a like, and please subscribe for more future videos. See you next time. Bye.